Welcome back to the C-Diddily Lorelocke, a Nuzlocke type with an emphasis on storytelling. Rules and overview in the description below. Today, we have reached the pinnacle. Our adventure comes to a head. Through highs and lows, me and my best friends have risen to the top of Paldea with the opportunity to become the champions of this region firmly within our grasp. Before we head off for our final challenges, we spend our last night as simple challengers hanging out, overlooking areas and taking in the views of the beautiful country we've explored inside and out before we head back to the courtyard where our journey began 9 episodes ago. Eevee, my trusty partner and starter Pokemon who has been there through everything I've experienced. Goatee, the coward turned powerhouse and reliable worm. Fred, our newest friend and a light in the dark. Lady, the ghostly fighter with an unwavering passion. Merlin, the kindest of serpents who never falters. And Larry, the empathetic orphan who's overcome trauma. We stand at the entrance of our fate with the thoughts of every friend who got us here, preparing to enter the hardest challenges we've had so far. We take our first steps towards the Pokemon League and it's like, right there. And it's a level 8 Igglypuff. The accumulation of everything I've accomplished is accompanied by level 8 Pokemon. Right, well, okay. It's not the dramatic grind to the league I expected, but whatever, I guess. The Prima is outside and we go to speak to her.
Hey, C-Diddily, you made it here. This is where you become a champion if you can beat me. Good luck. Bye.
Inside the building, we are subjugated to a pre-Elite Four interview to ensure we are worthy to take this challenge on. And obviously, I am, because I'm super smart and super handsome, and I pass with flying colours, meaning that this challenge to championhood can commence. We got this. Our first challenger is Rika, a ground-type specialist. She leads with Wishcast and we start this with Larry. Our opening Stone Edge does solid damage with a critical hit and boosted with Life Orb, and we tank the incoming Earth Power. An Earthquake takes down the fish. We swap in Goatee for the Donphan, predicting a ground move which Goatee slurps up. We opt to Shed Tail to get Eevee in safely, taking no damage from the incoming Stone Edge. We put on Eevee's special little power hat. Look at her go. Look at her all dressed up, all fancy, and we are going to hit with a flower trick that is going to take the little elephant down to 1 HP thanks to its ability Sturdy. Because of Sturdy, we then have to take a really dirty poison jab, which takes us down really low. A final flower trick takes down the Donphan, meaning 2 down. Easy peasy. We're going to swap Eevee out for Merlin, as grass is very flammable and sea serpents are not. We take that Fire Blast and then we set up a Dragon Dance so our speed and attack get higher. We then take a yawn. That's super annoying, but we take down the Volcano Camel with a waterfall and fall asleep in front of 3 little dudes. It sets up a Sandstorm and we sleep before taking an unfortunate amount of damage from a Rock Slide. Not great. Not wanting to lose Merlin, we swap in Larry on the predicted Rock Slide and take a small amount of damage. Go on, you tanky beast, we love you. And then, super effective Earthquake kills Larry. Stop the battle.
I genuinely thought Larry could live that based on the damage that he took from that opening Wish Cache. But in hindsight, it was Earth Power, not Earthquake, that the Wish Cache used. I just let our poor orphan boy die. The child I swore to protect and cherish, and I don't even have the time to mourn him right now because we're at the pinnacle of our journey. I'm so sorry, Larry. You deserve better.
We send in Eevee, who avenges our dear Larry that he helped raise with a single flower trick. Out comes Rika's ace in its Power Hat Clodsire. They're not whoop-de-doo though, are they? It opts with Protect to start the battle off, so our flower trick does nothing this time. It only delays the inevitable because next turn, Rika's round boy is going to go down to a single flower trick, earning us our first Elite Four victory, even if it resulted in the death of our poor orphan boy Larry. Let's pause for a moment to talk about Larry.
I loved Larry. I took him under my wing, and after he lost his mother forever ago, he worked so hard in overcoming his grief and trauma, training to become the best version of himself, from Larvitar to Pupitar and finally to the form of Tyranitar. I promised to protect him, to raise him and keep him safe and get him to the end of our journey, and I failed. This battle is at the height of Pokemon battling, no bars held, the strongest in the region, and he died a defender and a hero, and Larry will not be forgotten. Much like Billy, his valor, dedication and loyalty will never be forgotten. I will remember and hope to see you in another life, and I'm so sorry, but I can't get you the funeral you deserve right now, but we can't leave. Now, for some strange reason, in this Elite Four room, I'm able to access my Pokemon boxes, so I can lay Larry to rest in the box, and so that as many of our friends can fight as possible, I'll be changing my team in and out depending on the battle that is coming. I am sorry that I let Larry go down like that. It was not a good showing of who I am as a trainer. Okay. Let's get back to our battles against the best in the country, and let's not have a mistake like that happen again.
So, having defeated Rika, the first member of the Elite Four, we move on to our second challenger, who is none other than Poppy, the actual child. I still question that she may be like me, an adult trapped in the body of a child. We put Larry to rest, and alright, I'm anti-child abuse, but let's slap this child about. She leads with Copperaja, and our lead is Lady, ready to throw hands with a singular cross-drop. Metal Elephant goes down. With Corviknight now in, we swap out Annihilate and send in Merlin and tank a Brave Bird. We hit a critical hit Waterfall while it sets up an Iron Defense, making it thick as hell. And Ice Fang does nothing at all, really. Real Cure from Brave Bird does more damage, meaning that one Waterfall takes down the Metal Bird. Out next is a scary Magnezone, so we swap out Merlin for our Ground Boy Whoop-de-Doo. It sets up a light screen, we take a Flash Cannon that does moderate damage, and we take the opportunity to set up Spikes. Another Flash Cannon takes us deep into the orange, and because of it, its ability sturdy, we don't get the kill with an Earthquake. So we swap into Lady, so Whoop doesn't succumb to the incoming Flash Cannon, and then suck the life out of this Magnet with a Drain Punch. A single Rage Fist takes down the Bronzorg, and then it's hat time for Poppy. Her Tinkatongue wears her hat with pride, but it does not matter because a Drain Punch takes her down to basically 1 HP, meaning we are back to full health so that the incoming Play Rough doesn't take us out, and we can take down the Tinkatongue with a Drain Punch. With a small hat explosion, we have earned our second Elite Four victory. Whoop, 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 whoop. Out next is the man, the myth, the legend, Larry. Our guy is back in the fray as an Elite Four member. Hate to do it to him twice, but let's go, Larry. Larry, 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 Larry. He leads with a Tropius, and we lead with Whoop-de-Doo. Tropius sets up a Sunny Day, while Whoop sets up a Toxic Spike. Now, having the facilities to use one-turn Solar Beam, we take barely any damage from the stupidly powerful move and lay another layer of Toxic Spikes. This time, Solar Beam is going to get a critical hit. So it does way more damage, taking us to about a quarter health. Then we misclick and do absolutely nothing that turn. Another Solar Beam later, and we can finally do actual damage with a Poison Jab that does about 2/3 of its HP. We have to swap Whoop out or he'll get knocked out. So we swap in Goatee, who tanks this Solar Beam. Oh, barely anything. We then just miss out on a KO, and it's going to set up a Sunny Day, allowing us to get the kill, but not before we take a Dragon Pulse. But look, Tropius down. We swap Lady in, expecting a close combat, which doesn't affect us. We then swap into Merlin so we can get an Intimidate, lowering its attack. We take a Brave Bird that does genuinely loads of damage, surviving another, but barely. We hit a tragic amount with Waterfall, forgetting about the sun. So we swap Goatee back in, not wanting Merlin to go down, and he takes a soft Brave Bird that was a crit. We then swap Lady back in for the incoming close combat and hit with a Drain Punch, taking taking down the emo bird. We then swap in man like Fred the Sylveon in the face of an Altaria. We take 2 Moonblasts back to back and then set up with a Calm Mind. We are then going to take another Moonblast and another Calm Mind before we take one last Moonblast and hit with a Terra Blast, one-shotting the Cloud Bird. Our next opponent is Electric Form Oricorio, who hits us with a Revelation Dance, and Pom Pom Bird then survives on 1 HP from our Terra Blast, but a quick attack gets the knockout. Last out in all its hat glory is Flamigo the Flamingo with balloons on his hat. Fred gets knocked out by a Brave Bird, really annoyingly. God bless Fred. We then send in Lady, but immediately switch out for Merlin for the Intimidate drop, but Flamingo's ability prevents that happening, and Merlin gets knocked out. Not great. Goatee gets hit hard by a close combat, taking him out, but the Flamingo's defense falls. We send out Lady, who hits a Rage Fist, taking it deep into the orange, but our rage-filled friend falls to a Brave Bird. Next out is Eevee, who is going to outspeed and kill the Flamingo with a Night Slash. Hat Explosion and victory! Whoop, whoop, whoop. A brutal battle. Man like Larry sure knows what he's doing. Pop-off kick. It is now walked like he shat himself. Hassel up on the court is the last Elite Four member, and he's going to lead with Fast as Fuck Neubird, and we lead with Fred and hit a pixelated quick attack, only to get hit with a Super Fang, taking our HP down by half. This activates our Citrus Berry, getting us back to a decent HP. We take another Super Fang, then hit back with a super effective Terra Blast, taking down the Speedy Menace. We swap Fred out in the face of Dragalge and send in Whoop-de-doo, who is going to take 15 damage. Suck up the incoming Hydro Pump, healing that 15 damage. Hit an Earthquake, but takes it down to 1 HP, and tank a Dragon Pulse. Now we take the chance to set up 2 layers of toxic spikes before we Earthquake again, taking down the Coral Dragon? Is it Coral? Is it Algae? I don't know. Anyway, it's down. Flapple comes in and it gets poisoned and then sets up a Leech Seed, but Whoop dodges like a boff and takes it down into the red with a Poison Jab. Knowing Poison would take it out next turn, we swap in No Waiver, BBW, Tanker Dragon Rush, Flapple goes down, and then Haxorus is going to come in and hit us with an Iron Head, taking down No Way. Then it takes down Dems with a Dragon Claw. Fuck. It then hits Merlin with a super effective Rock Tomb, and then Ice Fang does moderate damage. One last Rock Tomb before an Ice Fang takes down this killing dragon Haxorus. He did bits. Outlast Excalibur in its silly dragon hat, but it means it's our last battle. We got this. Merlin takes a Glaive Rush, knocking him out. A Flower Trick from Eevee does over half damage. Then Eevee dodges the incoming moon, meaning our last Flower Trick can take down the dragon. We won. We beat Hassel, meaning we beat the Elite Four. We are so close to being a champion and therefore one step closer to understanding our reincarnation. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I feel alive and so close, and that's all that's left is for champion. Eevee, Goatee, Whoop-de-doo, Merlin, Fred, and Lady, I believe in you, and as a team, we have got this. Let's do this.
It's time for a champion time. Welcome, C-Diddily. I am utterly incapable of holding back when it comes to Pokemon battles. Maybe that's why no one's passed in a while, but you might manage something like Champion Nemona. I want to see the true measure of your battle prowess.
And with that, let's get this battle going. Greta starts the match off with Lady Gaga, and we lead with our oldest homie, Eevee. Eevee is going to make light work of this with a single Night Slash, taking Lady Gaga down. One done. Out next is Go-Go. What a lame Pokemon. We use a U-turn for huge damage and swap into our guy, Fred. Fred dodges the incoming Play Rough about a quarter from Horn Leech, and then our Terra Blast does half damage. So before Horn Leech, it would have died. We take another one and then set up a Calm Mind, but don't want to risk Fred's life. So we're going to swap out into Merlin and get the Intimidate. Oh. Look at him, here he comes. Oh yeah, Intimidate. And then we take a little from Horn Leech. One Ice Fang later, and the goat goes back to the Pokeball. King Gambit out next, who should have been erased in my opinion. Waterfall doesn't do a lot, but we get the flinch, so we swap back into Eevee. The incoming Stone Edge does loads of damage, and our Play Rough doesn't do a huge amount of damage, and then an Iron Head knocks out our OG. Not ideal, but we sent out Goatee to do goat things, and Earthquake just misses out on the kill, leaving it with 1 HP. Kowtow Cleave does moderate damage, and we get the kill with an Earthquake. That's 3 down. Out next is another lame Pokemon, Avalugg. Iron Head does okay amount of damage, but Body Press does loads of damage to Goatee, so we swap out Goatee into Lady, who tanks an Earthquake and smacks it with a Drain Punch, taking it into red, and after an avalanche hits, we are gonna take it down, meaning that we've got most of them done. Out next is gonna be the loser, who is a loser. Falls to a single Rage Fist, which is super powered up and super effective. And out last is Greta's hat wearing Ace, that should have been her opening Pokemon, Glimora. We punch the thing with a Drain Punch, setting up Toxic Spikes because of its ability, Toxic Debris, but we take down most of its health. A Dazzling Gleam doesn't do a lot of damage, meaning one last Drain Punch gets us the victory, and we beat Geeta. We are champions. We did it. You're looking at the brand new champion, C-Diddily. Greta takes us back to the entrance, and I think you know who is going to be waiting for us. Right on time, the homie Nimona shows up to congratulate us on our new championhood. She is a champion and I am a champion, so we are equal now, and we can be the bestest of rivals forever and ever and ever, and battle all the time, forever. It's time for our first battle, but Getter rightfully points out it shouldn't be here because it's not special. I suggest the beach where we had our first battle, but it's just her house, so she don't want to do that. Understandable. So instead, I suggest Mesagoa, but before that battle, me and the homies deserve a holiday. So we've headed to Kitakami so the homies can have a rest and I can unwind after becoming a champion. I'm champion now, I can do whatever I want, and my team took a beating and deserves the rest. And I can make some new friends here as well. So we're just gonna have a nice relaxing time in a completely different region. So thank you for watching. The adventure continues, obviously. I still don't have answers yet as to why I was reincarnated, but my new champion status is sure to help me figure that out. So join me on a holiday while I explore a brand new region. Next episode on the C-Diddily Lorelocke. I still can't believe that Larry's gone. I'll miss you, buddy. But we are champions. We are champions!